AI is being used too small. That is the uncomfortable truth. We are living through one of the greatest intelligence revolutions in human history, and most of the world is still asking the smallest possible questions. Can AI write faster? Can AI summarize faster? Can AI automate my workflow? Can AI help me market faster, sell faster, code faster, respond faster, and produce more content at a lower cost? Yes, it can. But that is not the real revolution. That is only the first layer. That is the toy version of the transformation. The real use of AI is not to make the old world more efficient. The real use of AI is to make old world problems obsolete. And that distinction matters, because if AI only helps us accelerate the same exhausted systems, then we have not created intelligence. We have only created speed, faster bureaucracy, faster marketing, faster extraction, faster consumption, faster burnout, faster noise, faster distraction, faster collapse. That is not progress. That is acceleration without wisdom. The deeper question is this: what happens when AI is not used merely as a productivity tool, but as a civilizational research engine? What happens when AI is combined with quantum computing, geospatial intelligence, satellite mapping, molecular biology, soil science, desalination research, clean energy systems, material science, natural health research, and community-level execution? That is where the real story begins, because the most important problems of the 21st century are not content problems. They are not branding problems. They are not algorithmic engagement problems. They are health problems, water problems, soil problems, energy problems, ecological problems, food problems, governance problems, community resilience problems, human exhaustion problems, meaning problems. And if AI is not being directed toward these, then we are using a civilizational technology for trivial ends. We are using a research-grade intelligence engine to polish the furniture inside a burning house. That is the raw truth. AI must move beyond the world of apps, dashboards, productivity hacks, and shallow automation. AI must enter the world of fundamental research, because fundamental research is where root causes are studied. Fundamental research is where disease mechanisms are decoded. Fundamental research is where materials are discovered. Fundamental research is where energy systems are reimagined. Fundamental research is where soil, water, ecology, biology, and computation begin to speak to each other. The old world divided everything into departments. Health was separate from food. Food was separate from soil. Soil was separate from water. Water was separate from climate. Climate was separate from energy. Energy was separate from economics. Economics was separate from governance. Governance was separate from human consciousness. That fragmentation is one of the reasons civilization is in crisis. We separated what life had already connected. AI gives us the possibility of seeing the whole system again, not through slogans, not through ideology, not through emotional wishful thinking, through pattern recognition, through simulation, through massive data integration, through predictive modeling. Through the ability to hold complexity without reducing everything into simplistic institutional boxes. That is the real power of AI. And when AI is combined with quantum computing, the scale of possibility changes even further. Quantum computing is not magic. It is not a miracle button. It is not going to solve every problem overnight. But it opens a new computational frontier for certain kinds of complex problems where classical computing struggles. Molecular modeling, material discovery, chemical simulation, optimization, energy systems, biological pathways, and high-complexity research. AI can detect patterns, generate hypotheses, analyze enormous data sets, and guide experimentation. Quantum computing can potentially help model the physical and chemical complexity behind biology, medicine, materials, water purification, and energy transformation. Human researchers bring ethics, intuition, field wisdom, lived experience, and meaning. Together, this becomes a new research stack: human intelligence, artificial intelligence, quantum computation, real-world data, field testing, community deployment. That is not science fiction. That is the direction serious innovation must move. The first great frontier is human health. Because despite all our medical advancement, human beings are not becoming deeply healthier. Many are becoming more inflamed, more anxious, more metabolically damaged, more hormonally imbalanced, more immune fragile, more dependent on chronic medication, and more disconnected from natural vitality. We need to ask why, not at the level of blame, at the level of root cause. Why is chronic disease increasing? Why are autoimmune conditions rising? Why are metabolic disorders becoming normal? Why are young people more anxious, more tired, more distracted, and more biologically depleted? Why are we treating health as an emergency response system instead of a preventive intelligence system? AI can help us build a different model, a model where health is not only about treating disease after it appears, a model where AI integrates genetics, epigenetics, nutrition, microbiome data, blood markers, sleep patterns, stress signatures, environmental exposure, food quality, water quality, movement, emotional history, and regional ecological factors into personalized preventive insight. That is the future of health, not generic advice, not one-size-fits-all protocols, not symptom suppression as the default, not waiting for breakdown before intervention. Health must become predictive, personalized, preventive, regenerative, and intelligent. And this is where DNA research becomes important. When people hear DNA enhancement, they often imagine reckless genetic fantasy. That is not where this conversation should begin. The more immediate and responsible frontier is understanding genetic vulnerability, inherited tendencies, epigenetic expression, cellular repair, and how lifestyle, food, stress, natural compounds, toxins, sleep, and environment influence gene expression. AI can help map these patterns with far greater precision. It can help identify risk earlier. It can help understand why one person responds well to a supplement while another does not. Why one person thrives on a dietary pattern while another becomes inflamed. Why one person develops a condition under stress while another remains resilient. Why certain natural compounds may support mitochondrial function, gut repair, hormonal balance, immune regulation, neurological stability, and inflammatory control. This is where natural supplements must be taken seriously, not blindly, not as marketing hype, not as miracle cures, but as biochemical intelligence. Plants are not primitive. Food is not merely calories. Minerals are not decorative. The microbiome is not a side topic. Natural compounds, botanical medicine, amino acids, fatty acids, enzymes, probiotics, adaptogens, and mineral systems deserve rigorous AI-assisted research because nature is complex chemistry. The old world created a false split between advanced science and natural wisdom. AI can dissolve that split. AI can scan research, molecular pathways, traditional knowledge systems, clinical outcomes, biological mechanisms, dosage patterns, safety signals, and individual biological differences to determine what works for whom, when, how, and why. That is serious health intelligence, and it connects directly to ecology, because you cannot have healthy humans on a sick planet. This is another truth the old world avoids. If soil is depleted, food loses vitality. If water is polluted, bodies are burdened. If air is toxic, lungs and brains suffer. If agriculture is chemically stressed, the microbiome suffers. If ecosystems collapse, human immunity, food security, and mental health are affected. The human body is not separate from Earth. The body is Earth arranged into living human form. The minerals in your blood, the water in your cells, the oxygen in your lungs, the microbes in your gut, and the food that becomes your tissue all come from the ecological system. So AI must also become an ecological intelligence engine. This is where geospatial intelligence and satellite mapping become critical. AI can analyze satellite imagery, soil maps, water tables, rainfall patterns, vegetation stress, forest loss, crop health, urban heat, biodiversity signals, coastline change, river pollution, land degradation, and climate risk at a scale no human institution can manually process. This is not abstract. It can tell us which region is losing soil fertility, which watershed is under stress, which agricultural zone is moving toward crop failure, which city is heating dangerously, which river is becoming toxic, which coastline is vulnerable, which forest is degrading before the damage becomes obvious, which community needs intervention before crisis arrives. That is the real use of AI. Seeing early, acting early, reducing suffering before collapse becomes visible. Soil must become a central research priority, because without soil, there is no food. Without food quality, there is no health. Without health, there is no civilization. And yet soil is treated as an agricultural input instead of a living intelligence system. Soil is microbial life, mineral structure, organic matter, water retention, fungal networks, bacterial communities, root interaction, carbon storage, nutrient cycling. It is alive. AI can help farmers and communities understand soil at a hyperlocal level. not through generic chemical formulas, not through blanket policies, not through centralized assumptions, but through field-specific intelligence. What does this soil need? What minerals are depleted? What microbes are missing? What crop rotation will restore balance? How much water is being lost? Where is erosion happening? Which natural interventions can restore vitality? Which farming practices are damaging long-term resilience? This is how agriculture becomes intelligent again. Not industrially forced, regeneratively designed. Water is the next great frontier. The future will not be defined only by data. It will be defined by water. Human beings cannot survive without water. Cities cannot survive without water. Agriculture cannot survive without water. Public health cannot survive without water. And yet water has been mismanaged at a shocking scale. We pollute rivers, drain aquifers, waste freshwater, ignore rainwater harvesting, overbuild cities, mismanage wastewater, and then pretend scarcity is inevitable. Water scarcity is not only a natural condition, often it is a design failure. AI can help redesign water systems. It can map aquifers, predict drought, optimize irrigation, detect leakage, monitor contamination, model rainfall capture, improve wastewater recycling, guide local water planning, and accelerate desalination research. Desalination must become cleaner, cheaper, less energy intensive, and more locally deployable. We cannot depend only on giant centralized water infrastructure. Communities need resilient water systems. Coastal regions need practical desalination. Remote areas need decentralized purification. Agricultural belts need smarter water intelligence. AI can help design better membranes, improve energy efficiency, manage brine responsibly, optimize filtration, and reduce the ecological burden of water purification. Quantum-assisted research may eventually help with advanced material discovery and molecular-level modeling for more efficient desalination. That is the kind of breakthrough AI should be serving, because water is not a market segment. Water is life infrastructure. Energy is equally important. The old energy model is too centralized, too extractive, too geopolitically fragile, and too dependent on massive distribution systems. It consumes Earth's resources at scale and then calls itself development. That model is outdated. The future of energy must be local, clean, resilient, easy to generate, easy to maintain, and community-oriented. The goal should not be endless mass production of power through systems that damage the Earth. The goal should be intelligent energy sufficiency, local microgrids, solar where appropriate, wind where viable, storage where needed, alternative materials, community-owned systems, decentralized resilience, reduced dependence on fragile centralized grids. AI can optimize energy demand, storage, routing, forecasting, maintenance, microgrid design, and local generation models. AI and quantum computing can accelerate material research for batteries, solar efficiency, thermal systems, hydrogen pathways, superconductors, and future clean energy technologies. But the real breakthrough is not simply producing more energy. The real breakthrough is producing energy without deepening ecological debt. That is the difference between old world power and new world intelligence. And this brings us to the most important shift of all. AI must decentralize capability, not centralize control. The old world loves centralization, centralized medicine, centralized finance, centralized governance, centralized energy, centralized agriculture, centralized platforms, centralized data, centralized authority. Centralization creates scale, but it also creates fragility, dependency, delay, corruption, arrogance, and distance from lived reality. AI should not be used to make centralized systems more powerful. That would be dangerous. AI should be used to make local communities more capable. Local health intelligence, local water intelligence, local soil intelligence, local energy intelligence, local food intelligence, local education intelligence, local governance intelligence. That is the positive AI future. Not one global control machine, not one surveillance architecture, not one algorithmic authority deciding life from above, but distributed intelligence helping communities solve real problems on the ground. What does this village need? What does this city block need? What does this farming region need? What does this watershed need? What does this population's health data reveal? What energy can this community generate locally? What food can be grown locally? What infrastructure is failing? What risk is emerging? What intervention will create the highest long-term benefit? That is practical AI. That is humane AI. That is 21st century leadership. The problem is that most AI conversations are still trapped in the productivity frame. How do we make workers faster? How do we reduce headcount? How do we automate processes? How do we increase margins? How do we create more content? How do we optimize sales? These are not wrong questions, but they are small questions. The better question is, what work should no longer exist? What suffering can be prevented? What scarcity can be solved? What systems can be redesigned? What institutions can be made unnecessary? What human energy can be liberated? What ecological damage can be reversed? What kind of civilization becomes possible when intelligence is directed toward life instead of extraction? That is the conversation we need. AI should serve life, not just markets. AI should serve research, not just revenue. AI should serve communities, not just corporations. AI should serve regeneration, not extraction. AI should serve human creativity, not human control. AI should serve meaningful innovation, not endless consumption. Because if AI is deployed only by market logic, it will optimize attention capture, consumer prediction, labor reduction, profit concentration, and behavioral manipulation. If AI is deployed by authoritarian logic, it will optimize surveillance, compliance, censorship, and control. But if AI is deployed by human-centered civilizational logic, it can optimize health, education, ecological repair, public infrastructure, local resilience, resource distribution, and creative human flourishing. So the question is not whether AI is powerful. It is powerful. The question is, powerful in service of what? That is the moral and strategic question of this century. Leaders need to understand this now. If you are an executive, researcher, founder, policymaker, engineer, educator, doctor, environmental professional, or community builder, do not reduce AI to operational efficiency. Do not ask only how AI can cut cost. Ask how AI can reveal root cause. Do not ask only how AI can automate labor. Ask how AI can eliminate meaningless work. Do not ask only how AI can grow business. Ask how AI can improve life. Do not ask only how AI can process information. Ask how AI can create wisdom from complexity. This is the leadership shift. The leaders of the next era will not be those who merely adopted AI early. They will be those who asked bigger questions with AI. How do we heal better? How do we grow food better? How do we restore water systems? How do we generate energy without consuming Earth recklessly? How do we design communities that are resilient, creative, healthy, and sovereign? How do we use intelligence to reduce suffering instead of increasing dependency? This is where AI becomes meaningful. The old world was built around extraction, extract labor, extract attention, extract data, extract profit, extract minerals, extract energy, extract health, extract time, extract emotional bandwidth, extract value from people and land until exhaustion becomes normal. AI should not be used to perfect extraction. AI should be used to end it. The future must be regenerative. Regenerative health, regenerative agriculture, regenerative energy, regenerative governance, regenerative education, regenerative technology. Regeneration means systems restore more than they consume. It means intelligence is measured not by how much it can exploit, but by how much life it can support. That is the higher standard. And let us be clear, this is not utopian fantasy. AI can be misused, quantum computing can be misused, data systems can be abused, health intelligence can become surveillance, ecological mapping can become control, automation can deepen inequality. That is why ethics, transparency, accountability, privacy, decentralization, and human dignity must be built into the design from the beginning. But fear alone is not a strategy. Rejecting AI is not enough. Using AI shallowly is not enough. The real task is to direct AI toward the problems that matter. Human health matters, water matters, soil matters, energy matters, food matters, ecology matters, community matters, research matters, consciousness matters, meaning matters. If AI is not serving these, then we have missed the point. We are standing at a threshold. On one side, AI becomes another engine of distraction, surveillance, profit concentration, shallow productivity, and smarter noise. On the other side, AI becomes the research partner humanity always needed, a partner that helps decode biological complexity, map ecological distress, restore soil, improve water security, personalize preventive health, accelerate clean energy, strengthen communities, reduce meaningless work, and free human beings from survival-based routines into creativity, contribution, learning, culture, and deeper human development. That second path is harder. It requires courage. It requires leadership. It requires serious research. It requires public imagination. It requires rejecting the shallow use of powerful tools. But it is the only path worthy of this technology. AI combined with quantum computing should not merely make the old world faster. It should help make old world problems obsolete. Disease dependency, water scarcity, soil depletion, energy fragility, ecological ignorance, institutional delay, human exhaustion, meaningless work. These are not permanent features of civilization. They are design failures, and design failures can be redesigned. That is the radical promise of AI, not artificial intelligence as a replacement for humanity. Artificial intelligence as a catalyst for a more intelligent humanity. A humanity that stops worshiping extraction. A humanity that stops confusing speed with progress. A humanity that stops treating sickness, scarcity, and ecological damage as normal. A humanity that finally uses intelligence to serve life. That is the conversation I want to open. If this perspective resonates with you, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. More importantly, comment below with your view. Where should AI be applied more boldly in the 21st century? Human health? DNA research? Natural supplements? Water and desalination? Soil regeneration? Clean local energy, ecological mapping, governance, education, community design, or is there an even deeper application we are still not seeing clearly? Drop your thoughts in the comments, challenge the idea, expand the idea, bring your own perspective. Because the future of AI should not be shaped only by technologists, corporations, or governments. It should be shaped by conscious people willing to ask better questions. And if you want deeper essays on AI, leadership, human systems, governance, innovation, and the future of civilization, follow me on my LinkedIn newsletter. This is not just about technology. This is about what kind of world we are intelligent enough to build.